Welcome to Detroit in Black and White. I'm Adolph Mongo. This is after Christmas show on Friday. Listen, I didn't give a fuck about Christmas, and I want to talk about Kwanzaa after I introduce these folks. Jim, how you doing?
Good evening. Well, thank
Jim
you.
Nardone, what's up? What you get for Christmas, Jim? What you get for Christmas?
Usual.
Oh, nothing. Right. Allan Lengel.
A bag of weed.
Yeah.
Allan Lengel, co-founder of Deadline Detroit. What you get for Hanukkah, man?
I didn't get shit for Hanukkah. You know what? Hanukkah's really gifts are for really the kids. I went to a couple dinners. Oh, I went to a dinner, a beautiful dinner, huge, and then I went to a brunch, and that was it.
Where you go to the brunch at?
I went to the Fenster House in Huntington Woods, and then for dinner, my sister-in-law, she's Yemeni Israeli. She's quite the cook. She put out a massive spread.
Why you invite us to come there?
I'll tell you, it was massive. We could have the next one. I'll bring you, but yeah, Hanukkah is just such a low-key thing, which is good. The kids get stuff, and that's about it.
Well, let me ask you this, and then I'll come to Vanessa. What do kids get for Hanukkah?
I mean, I actually bought for the Fenster grandchildren. I got them. One got a $25 gift card to a sporting goods store, and the other one got a Target gift card for $25.
So they don't get like a lot of toys and all that.
Some do. Yeah, some do. I mean, the grandkids are a little bit, a little older, but yeah.
Okay.
Some of the kids get. Yeah, some of the kids get something.
Okay, well,
some families probably overdo it, like at Christmas, where some families overdo it. But that's
okay. Well, Vanessa, good evening. How you doing? And what did you do for Christmas, young lady?
Good evening to everybody that's watching Detroit Black and White. Listen, if you're watching this show, you're watching the greatest show on this YouTube streets. You can catch us on all social media platforms, and you can make a comment in the comment section. If you want to join us and let us see your beautiful face, you can also use the link that Lady T is going to put on, and you can get in on Detroit Black and White on the link. So Allan said that you said he getting the gifts. He said, well, that's really gifts for kids. Well, let me tell you, I'm a kid because I got gifts. Unexpectedly, but I got gifts. I got AirPods. I got jewelry. I have candles. What else did I get? Oh, I got some cashew nuts. I got some chocolate candy. Bridget bakes some. What she does is she bakes cookies every year. So I got cookies. So I mean, I have gift bags all over the place. So I got.
You mean Tracy?
Now, what did I do yesterday? I couch surfed yesterday. I sat at home all day until about 8 o'clock. I went and got some Chinese food, and I went to a dance set. And of course, when I walked in, the person that was hosting, she said, well, this is what the lonely do for Christmas. I don't know if you, Allan, or Jim are familiar with this Christmas song made by The Emotions, but it's one of the most depressing songs you could ever hear as far as I'm concerned. But the Lonely was out dancing last night for a couple of hours, and then I brought my butt on home.
Where'd you find Chinese open?
All the Chinese restaurants are open.
Well,
but
I know they're all open.
Ain't no Chinese places. Most of them need to be closed down.
I'm not ignoring him. You know where Empress Garden is, right?
No, that's not good.
That's on Lasser and 11 Mile. So
you just eat anything, right?
I had the garden vegetable soup. I had an egg roll, and I ordered some shrimp.
The health department knocked on that. You know that, didn't you?
Fried rice without.
The health department.
I gave it away.
The health department zing them or big ding them or whatever they do. I'm just telling you what the deal is.
I went yesterday to a Mexican restaurant for lunch. on
Why?
West Burner with
because he wanted Mexican food.
Marco
Why you
Chin.
asking him that? Go
To-
ahead.
I'm just asking why. Why?
You wanted to eat it?
Huh?
Well, I guess y'all can eat anything. You
Go
know?
ahead, Allan.
Anybody could eat at the click, can eat anything, right? Adolph,
Well, I ain't ate at the click in 20 years.
whatever. But
It's
you
been 20 years.
That doggone Coney Island that sits right next to the one with the rat.
And I don't eat a Coney Island. I ain't ate that in 20 years. I haven't eaten any Coney. So you don't even know I haven't eaten any of that in 20 years. But you went to the Chinese place. You know that place wasn't good. Allan, y'all eat anything. But anyway.
Allan, where'd you go for Mexican?
It was on West Verner L. Here, I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
Does it start with?
That's not a real Mexican, Jeff.
No, it was for real.
That's not a real Mexican.
It's Los Altos on West Verner.
Yeah, you put something on Deadline, right?
Yeah. I mean, the food was decent. You know, we got one of these combo plates of steak, chicken, shrimp, grilled
That's not Mexican food, though.
grilled cactus. That's the real deal.
That's not Mexican. That's not Mexican.
Yeah.
That is not Mexican.
Tortilla chips, salsa.
And the Chinese food that you ate, Vanessa, real Chinese people don't eat that shit.
They don't eat Chinese vegetable soup?
No, they don't eat that shit, what you was eating. They don't eat it.
What do
they don't eat it.
What did they eat?
But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's start.
Educate us.
I'm not educating you. I don't care what y'all do. Y'all can eat anything. I don't care. But anyway,
there is a Chinese restaurant, a more upscale one, the Peterborough at Cass in Peterborough, which is
that's terrible. That's not no upscale.
Have you been there? Have you been?
Yeah, I've been there. You went to the Peking place off in Jefferson, which been around. I'm not even gonna say what it is. I'll leave it alone.
Is that any good, the Peking?
No, it's some bullshit, but people eat it. So you know.
Hey, Vanessa, say hello to our friends.
Listen.
Say hello to my friend.
Tracy Huff, good evening. She said that Christmas song is the best song ever. G Money Hollywood, good evening. Janet overall, good evening. And she says the Chinese restaurants in her area are pitiful.
Right on.
Eric Brown
says Nacimiento, which is a decent place. It's kind of funny when you go in with their ticket. The seating is kind of strange in that place, but it's a good restaurant.
Okay. Eric Brown says, good evening, Eric.
Didn't eat anything.
9 years of being Lions free, and it was excruciating to have to sit through the game as he was visiting the family get together. G Money Hollywood
He'll
said,
get over it.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening to the panel. He says he will be with us for about 20 minutes. He has something planned, but he wanted to come in to connect with the crew. Great. He said, I hope you had happy holidays. Dorian Denar, good evening. He said he only took cash donations from his customers for working on Festivus.
That's a
Seinfeld thing. I never watched Seinfeld.
Well, me either. And I didn't. The few times I saw it, I didn't find it funny. Stephanie Jackson, good evening. I don't know who this is. Janet, she already shared the show. Mr. 1213 said, good evening. Eric says, happy Kwanzaa. Karen Winston, good evening. Good people. It was good seeing you last Saturday, Karen. And Dwayla, good evening, Dwayla. She said, good evening, all, with a heart emoji.
Yeah, we talked about Karen.
We've got somebody chiming in here. We've got Tracy, one of our viewers, who wants to come on the show and talk to us.
All right.
Bring her on. Let's see if we can do that.
Bring her on. Oh, we got somebody.
All right. Tracy, welcome.
Hey, Tracy.
Hi. How is everybody? Your holidays were good, it sounds like.
Well, we got a hit on you, Tracy, since they know how you look now.
All right, I'm ready for them.
Ain't no question. So what did you do for Christmas, Tracy?
I didn't do one thing. I sat on the couch and watched Told you.
You watch what?
What'd you watch?
I binge watched a show called Reasonable Doubt.
Oh.
Oh,
What
that's
platform is that on?
It's
Uh,
on Hulu.
Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
it was a nice and quiet Christmas, just what I wanted.
Okay, good. Let me ask you this, and I was going to ask the panel: are you celebrating Kwanzaa?
No.
Because I think Kwanzaa, anybody that know Ron Karinga, he created Kwanzaa many years ago. I'm not into the Christmas and stuff, and I'm sure not into Kwanzaa. So they had a big deal down at Campus Marsh and stuff, and got the big candles and all that.
Yeah,
You're not into that, huh?
my attention span is short. I try to do Kwanzaa, and I get about maybe the first 3 days, and then I fall off.
Okay. Yeah, ain't no question. Vanessa, you celebrate Kwanzaa?
No. Transparency, should I?
No, I'm just asking you.
What about you,
No,
Ada?
I'm not celebrating Kwanzaa. When I was active with the chapter of the NAACP in Southfield, we would do a program and I would participate, but I haven't participated.
Adolph, what about you?
I don't celebrate shit, Allan. Ain't no question. Kwanzaa, Christmas, any of this shit. You know what I am. I don't believe in nothing. So when I pass away from this earth, I'll find out if I'm right or wrong and shit, and Vanessa, if I'll probably go before you, and you're gonna talk about me, I'm gonna smack you on the head. You're gonna say somebody smacking me on the head. I can't see. It's me. It's me.
Whatever.
It's me. No, I don't celebrate Kwanzaa, but a lot of people do, and I don't even know what is it, 25, 6 days, 7 days of
7
Kwanzaa?
days. It's December 26th through January the 1st. And each day focuses on one principle: encouraging community, heritage, and growth through activities, feasts, and candle lighting. The first day is Umoja, unity. The second one, I can't pronounce it, but it's self-determination. Third one is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. The next one, Ujame, is cooperative economics. Nia is purpose, and Kaumba is creativity, and Imani is faith.
Well, people don't know that the person that created it, and he created it, Ron Karinga, professor out in California and stuff. I never liked him, if you know what he stood for. But
What did he
Jim,
stand
let me ask
for?
you this: somebody that you on the outside looking in is what do you think of Kwanzaa?
Well, I looked it up this week too because I was not that familiar with it, just like maybe one of our other co-hosts are doing. And people need to believe whatever they want to believe, and whatever works in your life, whatever religion, whatever you want to believe in, I'm all for it, right? Whatever you need to get by in this life, whatever makes you feel fulfilled or whole, I'm in favor of it. I want to ask Tracy if she went to any good holiday events this year.
I did. I went to a fantastic event on the 20th. I think I might have seen you there, Joe. I had a really good time. Did you have a good time?
I did.
Yeah.
I met some of the upper crust that day, and I got to see you again, which was a highlight of my holiday season.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. You were the holiday. You were looking mighty spiffy.
Wow.
No question.
I want to ask Tracy and some of the other panelists here. And I've told this story before. When I worked at the Washington Post, I did a story on a Denny's that was opening across the river. It was the first sit-down restaurant, long time to be across the river, and a lot of church folks were there. And I went around interviewing people. They were all decked out. The women had great hats, their church hats on, everybody. had beautiful suits on and dresses. And I went from table to table, and I sat down with a bishop and a woman. I don't know if it was his girlfriend or wife, but I was interviewing them, and I said, "What do you think?" He goes, "This is great." I mean, they really did a beautiful. It was the nicest Denny's you'll ever see. I mean, everything was like really polished, like dark grain wood tables and stuff. And I said, "Well, what do you think?" And he said, "It's great." He said, "It's too bad it's not black owned." And I said, "But it is black owned." And he goes, "No, it isn't." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I interviewed the owner. He's from Nigeria." And he goes, "He's not black." And I went back to the newsroom and asked some black reporters. I said, "What's up with that?" And they said, they don't consider, a lot of Americans don't consider the black, the Africans black. And so I thought, well,
I don't know who the fuck you was dealing with that don't consider Africans black, because we not from Africa.
right.
But
Well, I'm just
we are African. That's our ancestors.
right.
The-
But I'm saying that a lot of the people don't relate, and the cab drivers who are African, a lot of them don't get along in DC with the African Americans.
Well, you know why? They come over here and they got people telling them, "Don't do this, don't do that." Now they finding out when they became cab drivers and they was spending all that money for to get a license for being a cab driver. What do they call that, Lengel?
Well, you get a license. Yeah.
Well, in New York, where
right. Same thing in DC. You had to have, but now with
it was $100 grand or $200 grand to have it.
Right.
But the bottom line is, when Uber and Lyft came, that stopped all that shit.
Yep.
Because I've lived in DC and try to catch a cab. You go up, and you coming out of a restaurant, and here's a cab sitting there, and there's a black guy driving it. And I said, "Well," he said, "Oh, I'm off duty." Okay, you don't get in. And then there's a couple white folks right down there. He drive right there and get them. You couldn't get a cab, couldn't get anything. Now they crying in New York saying, "Oh, we got folks that they losing money and they killing themselves because Uber and Lyft took over and shit." Because that you can call them and they gotta come.
Tracy,
let me ask Tracy. Tracy, do you relate to do you prefer when someone refers to, is it black or African American, and do you relate to being in the ancestry of Africa?
Wait, before Tracy answer that, let's take a break and we come back and let Tracy think about it, and then she can talk about it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
Okay, we're back. Okay, Tracy.
Okay. I am African American. Somebody way down the line was from Africa. And I think where the disconnect comes as it relates to Africans and African Americans or Black people in the United States. I think that some, I don't know all, but I think that some people who are from Africa think that we're not true Africans or something to that effect because we were raised here and they were raised in Africa. So,
Well, and we're not true Africans. There's no question about it. But we are. Our ancestry is African.
yeah,
There's no question about it. We can't say we the only people in this country, besides the Native American, that can tell. Lengel can look back at where his parents are from, and everybody, Jim, etc. But us, we don't know what country, what area. We know we came from Africa, somewhere in Africa. And a lot of us, we so mixed up that some of us from Africa, and some of us, our ancestors is from other places. But no, we're not African. I'm not trying to be African. I know we got African ancestry in us, so
So Adolph, I want to ask Tracy why, when she's been out, she's been participating in the show for a long, long time. She's been on with us. She's made a lot of great comments. When you decided to come on tonight, what were you thinking about talking about? Anything specific?
I didn't have anything specific. I just wanted to see how this worked.
And it works, don't it? Don't it work?
It works just fine.
You're a
It works
pioneer.
just fine.
So let's
Tracy,
talk to some of our other viewers, can we?
Yeah, Tracy, but do me a favor, because you asked me earlier, how do you do it? I said, you go to a restaurant, you use the same way.
Yes.
Our viewers that may be shy, you just said you want to see how it worked. Tell them how easy it was and exactly how it worked.
It was very easy. It was just like Vanessa said, it was just like when you go to a restaurant, you have to scan the menu. You scan the little QR code in the corner and it pops up just like it does in a restaurant. And then it asks you to put the microphone on, to allow it while you're using this app. And bada boom, bada bing, here I am.
And we're happy to see your smiling face. You look great tonight. And
Well, thank you, Tracy, and I hope you come back on again. Okay.
Happy years to you guys. Yes.
Okay.
Alan has a question.
No, well, maybe you want to. I was just going to make a comment about, we've seen the president bombing ISIS terrorists in Nigeria and saying it's because he's protecting the Christians, but the Nigerians are saying no, it's both Christians and Muslim, and he's trying to create this like war between the Christians and the Muslim when it's both Christians and Muslims are being attacked by ISIS. And, I just find it's another way of him trying to divide. And,
Yeah.
Who's him? Be more specific.
I'm talking about Trump, who's
Donald Trump, who lives large in the head of Allan Lengel. Ain't no question. Tracy, thank you very much for coming on. You got to come on every week. If you want to come on every week, come on. I don't have a problem.
And now I know how this works. I'll have something to talk about.
We'll be glad to see you again.
Take care.
Good to see you guys. Have a good evening. Happy New Year.
You too. Yeah.
I have a little video about people who passed away. If we could play it, it's about a minute long, a little over a minute.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah, thanks. Sad, we lose people. I mean, Allan, one of the nicest guys. You'd see him out while we would be reporting. He'd show up on the scene. It was just it was fun. You run into Allan, and he was just upbeat and just really a nice guy. And the guy was just he was a trooper. They'd send him out on any story. He'd come back with the story.
Yeah, he was a good. I liked Allan. He started out at WJLB.
Yeah.
Radio.
So I'm going to go to some of our comments. When you asked about Kwanzaa, Jana overall chimed in, and I went over the principles, and she said, should we practice the principles all year round? I agree. She's absolutely correct. Yes, we should. Dorian Denard says the U.S. organization was the Dashiki Warren brothers versus the Black Panthers. G Money Hollywood says, if I celebrated holidays like that, I would align more with Kwanzaa before Christmas. I agree with Adolph. Every day is a holiday and a new day. Miss me with all these man-made holidays. I believe in God. Tamika Rainey, good evening. Janice Saluk says, greeting all. Par Orks answered the question about the license that you were talking about. Adolph, he said the HAC license. Mr. 1213 says it had been reported that many from the continent of Africa, when becoming an American citizen, classified themselves as white on a citizenship application. Maybe that's why they don't live. Maybe that's why they don't live in the
probably in the.
Who's that? Tasmanian says, I love South Sudanese. I stand up for their rights. Right now, they're being genocide by Arabs from the RSF and Jenga Weed. G Money Hollywood says, I see that the U.S. has struck Nigeria with missiles over the right for the people there to practice Christianity. The world is in enough crisis. Now there's another in the making. Where are we headed? DeBragg 921 says Black Americans are just that. We are not African. Eric Brown says a good friend of his is from Nigeria, and he has another one from South Africa, and they do not see us as African Americans. There is a disconnect between them. The entire world has African ancestry connected to them.
Where the fuck did we come from then? If we ain't come from Africa, you know what? We ain't Africans. We can't say we Nigerians and Liberians and from Chad and Niger and Libya and Egypt, etc. Morocco, all African countries. South Africa, Zimbabwe, etc. Where the fuck did we come from then? We came from there.
We came from, I believe
they brought us here.
Africa. I think the origin of all men, all women is from Africa. That is my belief. Stephanie Jackson says Trump again.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Janet overall says, thank you, Vanessa. You're welcome. Yeah, she said Trump again.
I'll tell you, the other thing, Trump still wants to get the Nobel Peace Prize, but if he's going and bombing Nigeria and he's bombing it on behalf of Christians and Muslims, he thinks if he just does it on behalf of Christians, maybe he'll still be eligible for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, but you know what? The Nigerians gave him the coordinates. They told him where all these folks are. Right. But they said that it wasn't about the Christians being killed. They said they killing everybody.
Right.
So it ain't got nothing to do with it. So that's why
administration of the last 40 years hasn't killed people overseas. Which administration hasn't killed people?
All of them have done it.
But the Venezuelan thing is outrageous.
But
it's just outrageous.
Total
but
bullshit.
You know, it's the bottom line. Man, anyway. You tell me.
What?
No, you tell me. we ain't Africans. We ain't
Well,
this.
let me say
Tell
this.
me.
Let me say this. The Wednesday we had a guest on the show, and we really didn't get into the conversation. But I've gotten several calls from people from that neighborhood, a minister from the church, as well as I forgot this. I think this is a teacher or somebody over there, and they want to come on the show. And I think that people really should pay attention to this issue, because if it happens in that neighborhood, it can happen in some of our viewers' neighborhoods. So, they want to come back. Well, these two people want to come on the show, so I invited them on the show for Wednesday. But
Why?
conversation.
Who are they?
I just told you who they are. Hold on a second. Let me read this text message again. Miss Pat Perkins, she's the founder of Great Communities, and Pastor Alonzo Bell, founder of Redeemed Detroit.
And we need and
Pastor Marvin Evers of NBC Church.
and we need to have the people that own the titty bar come on too, because we can't.
Adult
You know
entertainment
what?
club.
Maybe you can reach out to. I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them. You know what?
Adult
That we
entertainment
need to have the titty bar people come on too, because I have a problem with with ministers, because they got their own little game they
Hey,
play.
what about ministers?
I have a problem with some of them
Mm-hmm.
because they full of shit.
One in particular,
Because
but
they full of shit. They full of shit. They build big buildings and don't finish them because they full of shit.
that's the one in particular. But
I can name about 20 of them because they ain't shit.
I'm sure
I'm
they
going to just tell you. Some of these ministers ain't shit. They full of shit.
Mm-hmm. So I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having the owners of the gentlemen's
Yeah,
club.
well, if you gonna get other people, I don't have a problem with other people talking
They
about.
reached out to me. Now I didn't reach out.
Well, but we gotta do it right, because I don't want all these people. All they doing is beating up on the folks, because the people that got the titty bars might have a better argument.
Let me say this. My position on that is this, Adolph, is that you can't say on one hand that you want thriving neighborhoods. You can't say that you want people.
But it's not illegal. It's not illegal. It's not illegal. A lot of these people say they don't want shit and they don't have shit to replace it. I'm going to just tell you, not all the titty bars are fucked up. They not all fucked up. And the ones that fucked up, you close them. But the bottom line is that it's legal. If you don't want a titty bar, make all the shit illegal. Make it where they can't have it.
My position is this. You didn't let me finish making my point. That
well, you made your point. You got Reverend Preacher and the rest of the people coming on.
That's not what I was going to say.
What was you going to say, young lady?
I'm saying this is that the people in the neighborhood don't want it. That I think that the people in the
not everybody don't want it.
The people, first of all, the people that are opening that business, I think they should listen to their neighbors, one. But the point that I was trying to make is this. The other day, our guest indicated that they have already started making renovations to this building. Money talks. Yeah. I believe that the place is going to open regardless of whether the neighbors are protesting.
Well, you know who they should be beating up? I'm going to just tell you. If I was consulting the neighbors, you don't go after the bar, you go to the city. That's who's giving them all that. They wouldn't be fixing this shit up if they hadn't got permits from the city. So they need to go after the city. They need to go and say, why are y'all letting these people do this shit? That's why when I asked the young lady, Miss Brooks, said, when are they going to go before city council and all that? And I bet all the city council people talk all that bullshit, and then when they come to vote, they vote for it. because the city of Detroit paid off millions of dollars when they've been trying to close down. I remember they had hustlers tried to open up a bar down by the Milliner Center. It's still it's a topless bar, but they came and guess what? You know, the city closed them down. They went to court. City had to pay them $10 million. Right from down the street from the Mongos, where Allan likes to go to that little bar. They had a titty bar right down the way where they was trying to expand, and the city closed them down, made them stop. But guess what? The city had to pay about $15 million to these folks. Now there's no titty bar down the street, but the city has lost. City has dropped the ball on a lot of this stuff. So they got legal license, and you know that and this titty bar, she said it was open before and it's closed. They need to go after the city. Because if they go after that bar, they're not going to win.
Tell you what they've done when they come on the show. But Mr. 1213 says, if Detroit wants to bring back thriving neighborhoods that attract young families from across the country, don't allow a strip club to open in the community.
Listen, Boston got a red light district. So a lot of these places got, a lot of New York got titty bars. Chicago got titty bars. I'm just telling you what these cities got.
Detroit used to have a red light district. My father had a bar there on Brush and Columbia.
Happened, Allan?
I'm sorry?
What happened? You said
still illegal.
On Brush and Columbia, he had a bar there. It was a red light district. But you know what's there right now? Comerica Park and Ford Field. That whole area is, and the other parts of Brush are all, Dan Gilbert developments and stuff.
We got a lot of vacant land. They can have a red light district, but you can't put if the shit is legal, you can't stop them from wanting to open up. You can't.
I have a question. Is it legal? And maybe we have a lawyer here. Could the city do designated zones where this is like recreational property can be zoned for this, and so they limit it to certain neighborhoods or just downtown sections? Or
they do that. They did that with the marijuana. They did it with the casino. They can do it. They can do it.
And maybe that's the way to do it, where you don't have it in like a neighborhood, like way, like it's 7 and Loss or.
Well, people don't want it in their neighborhood, and I understand it.
I think it should be a zone. There should be an area zone for those kind of businesses. I don't think that they should be in the neighborhood. The legality of it all, if it's legal for them to open it up, fine. But does that mean that that's good for the neighborhood? Absolutely not. Because guess what happens? You have people that's coming from other areas, from Trenton,
But why don't these people
from Grosse Point going right over there to Cover Girl over in
But why don't these people fight? Why don't these people fight against the gas stations that's fucked up and the liquor store? They don't do that shit. They don't do nothing. They let that shit operate. They don't say shit until somebody get killed at one of these gas stations. And then they say, we don't want them in the neighborhood. But then you get 5 or 10 people saying, Abdul, he was great. He gave us credit and shit. And we don't need to close them down. Listen, you pick your fights and shit.
You can get credit in one of those places?
Par Arks asked this question. Par Arks said, Adolph, do you believe that the adult bars impact the moral fabric of a community neighborhood? And
it's not like I care where the titty bars operate. It's legal. It's legal.
Where do you put your credit card when you're trying to get credit?
It's legal.
Bars impact the moral fabric of a community.
I don't know what's moral or not moral. All I know is legal, and I'm not trying to stop people from making a living. I'm just telling you that they said the numbers was illegal and shit, and then the state hijacked the shit, and they made the numbers legal for them.
Hello,
You know,
Courtney.
we know what's going on. They put thousands of people in jail for selling weed, and now the state making money legal marijuana. So I'm just looking at all this shit.
So,
No.
works. I'm going to ask the question, even though Adolph, you asked the question to Adolph, I'm going to answer it. Maybe Allan and Jim will be able to answer the question. For me, I do believe that adult bars impact the moral fabric of communities and neighborhood. I do believe that. I know that if I was
It's legal.
my children, I would have a problem. I would move into a neighborhood where if there's a adult entertainment that's sitting right there in the corner or in the
But
middle.
it's been there forever. It's been there forever. It just Vanessa. It's just like when people move into a neighborhood by an airport, they know it's an airport there, and so when they get there and they hear the planes and all that shit, now they mad. Now you knew what you was doing when you got there. Titty bars been around a long fucking time, and some of these areas, the titty bars been there for 50 years, 60 years. They've been there.
Did the people from CoverGirl call you and ask you to represent them or something?
No, but if they did, I would tell you. You know what? I haven't represented titty bars in about 20 years. Okay. But I represented them, and not that I would want to go there and hang out and shit. But they have a right. And when I see that the city give outsiders and entertainers Class D license to do all the shit that they want to do because it's some kind of entertainment. It's a football game and it's a basketball game. So let these people that's making a living do the same shit. If you want it to be illegal, make it illegal and make it where that you can have a titty bar in Detroit or in Michigan. Yeah, that it is what it is.
I'm gonna go to some more of these comments. Eric says, "What's worse, marijuana joints is titty bars? They're both legal businesses, but I don't think that religious folk have room to talk about judging their sense of morality." Dorian Denard says, "Van Dyke, north of Harper would be ideal. Not much housing in either areas. I'm very familiar with the area." Stephanie says the city would need a cut of the money. Courtney Reader, good evening, says what happened. Tasmanian 1712 says I would get hired for a job faster in Dearborn than I would in Detroit, and I am a resident of Detroit. Dorian Denard says everyone's morals are different in this raggedy country.
Listen, before you go on, Vanessa, if you go down Michigan Avenue into Dearborn, you see Pantheon and BT's.
Yep.
Hey, listen. They've been there for years, and ain't nobody said shit.
You don't see it in Allen Park. You don't see it in Ferndale. You don't see it in Royal Oak. Duela says it's primarily, and you don't see it in Warren. Duela says it's primarily for men. Mr. 1213 says money talk with local elected officials. Stephanie says the professionals that patronize it don't want it in their neighborhoods. Par Org says, Vanessa, Adolph is drooling about those adult bars. His wife is going to put him on the couch.
Can I answer?
Well, it don't matter. Drooling about. Listen, I've been to the titty bars. I hung out at the titty bars. I was in the military. We went to the titty bars, and they tell us don't leave these people alone. But the bottom line is, you see it in a place like Dearborn. That's the third largest city is that the third largest city in Michigan, Allan?
Well, it's like Detroit, Grand Rapids, Warren,
and
Probably
Dearborn.
it may-
Yeah,
Sterling Heights,
Dearborn got two right across the street from each other, just about. And you know, you go down river, you see some hustlers. You see
There's a
people
few. There
have
was
it.
one in
It
Southgate,
is.
but I think that's closed.
Go ahead, Jim.
Courtney asked a question, what happened? And Courtney, just so Courtney deserves an answer, we had somebody representing the community on our show Wednesday who is not in favor of adult entertainment. So
Right.
we're
I
hoping
understand.
as Sheila said,
She didn't say in her neighborhood. She didn't say she wasn't in favor of adult entertainment.
in
They
that
don't
particular
do it in the
neighborhood,
Yes.
in a particular location.
You need to go
Yeah.
after the city that gave them license to have it in that area.
And
I
they're going to tell them what happened when they went after the city. That's
Sure.
why they call Channel 4 News. But I'm going to let them talk for themselves.
But Courtney wanted to ask what we were talking about, I think, and
Yeah.
I think that's what her question was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
all right. I'm just
number 7 on population in the state. The Ann Arbor, Lansing, Sterling Heights are out of it. Warren, but it's number 7. But it's got a decent sized population. You know.
Oh, well, the bottom line is, a titty bar is a titty bar, and people don't want it. They need to go after the people that make it possible to have titty bars. That is the city of Detroit. They give licenses to young ladies, 18 and over, to dance. They give them a card, say it's all right. You go down there. So if it's that fucked up and the city thinking it's criminal, they need to stop participating in the shit.
Well, you guys
That's all I'm saying.
So, go ahead.
I was going to ask all of you, the three of you, an attorney, a journalist, and a political journalist / Adolph. When you mentioned, Allan mentioned red light district, you talked about your dad's bar, but were you talking about illegal activity or legal activity? I think when people
It was illegal. It was illegal activity.
But it's not sanctioned illegal activity. I guess.
Right. It was
The red light district is sanctioned other places, and they have it.
But Detroit wasn't
you know,
sanctioned, and what we're talking about is
it wasn't sanctioned. There were bars and
they were illegal. It was illegal.
There were women walking up and down the streets and going
So
in the bars.
I think the issue is not so much the legality of the business.
Well,
If they're talking about what comes along with those type of businesses, and we touched on it a little Wednesday. And Karen Winston, one of our co-hosts here, she says she used to live in the 8 Mile Hubble neighborhood in the 80s, and the Tit Bar was infamous for big crowds and prostitution. We're talking about sex trafficking. We talk about drug abuse. We're talking about all those vices in a neighborhood or in neighborhoods where people are raising their children, where you have churches and those kind of things. I don't have a problem with it existing legally. I'm saying I would have a problem with it existing legally in my neighborhood. And there should be channels that you should be able to go through as a neighborhood to try to get that addressed. And the people that's coming on the show is going to tell you, we've done this. And guess what? There was
well, they ain't doing it right. They not doing it fucking right. So they want to come on here and smack it, and they get the whinings show up at city council, say they not gonna have a titty bar. I'ma just tell you, right now, you go after the city. Don't go after the people that trying to make a living. If they doing wrong,
she doesn't want it in her neighborhood. What neighborhood do you want it in? My neighborhood? You don't want it. Nobody wants.
Yeah, nobody. The city need to say you can't have it. You can't.
All the businesses are doing the same thing. I think it would be acceptable.
But when we let all these gas stations and liquor stores and shit, so the titty bar is just all part of the same bullshit that we let these people go through. Ain't no question about it.
They're not in Grosse Pointe Shores. They're not in Grosse Pointe Farms. They're not in Royal Oak.
Because the people don't want the shit. The people don't want the shit. and the Grosse Pointe Farms don't have those gas stations where they selling Lucy cigarettes and doing all kind of shit. No, they send them to Detroit. So I know what you're talking about, Jim. Listen, the city of Detroit need to crack down on the gas stations, on the liquor stores, and on the titty bars. If that's what you want to do, no, that's what you do. Because the customers that come here and participate in that shit, they are from the Grosse Pointes and the St. Clair Shores and all that other shit.
That's what I said. That's exactly.
Don't kill a person that want to make some money. And he's seeing everybody else doing their shit, and nobody fucking with them.
I want to say there are, as Adolph mentioned before, there's areas like Grand River and 14th Street where there's empty land. There's barely residential anymore there. You could set up different, districts like that where it would be controlled. There's not a lot of residents around. There's empty fields. It would be good for revenue for the city, and everyone could live, with it. But
Allan, can we go back to what Eric said? Can you answer this question? He said he's referring to me. There are underground clubs in every city. There's swinger clubs and drug dens and gambling houses. But what's the difference, Eric? They're not out in the open.
Exactly.
We're not out in the open, but the bottom line is, listen, I'm going to defend the fucking titty bars because they got a right to open and do what they fucking want to do until you close down all the other bullshit, until you close down the fucking liquor stores that create a whole lot of other chaos in the city. Same way with the fucking gas stations. You can't stop in certain gas stations because somebody gonna take your shit. So no, I listen. They can come on here and they can talk, and I'm gonna debate with them and shit. Especially the preacher, because I don't give a fuck about no preachers, because they the worst fuckers in this city. I ain't gonna lie to you. Preachers ain't shit.
But there are some
good
preachers. There are some good preachers too.
Yeah, well, I can name some good preachers too, but most of these preachers ain't shit. I can name some good preachers too.
Yeah.
Because if they had their shit together, they would have been standing tall with a preacher that I like the last 6 months. But they was all fucking jealous. Oh, jealous ass fuckers. Shit. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, listen. He's back. For all of you guys that didn't know that, he is back. Tamika Rainey, she says there should be a strip of bars away from the neighborhood.
Right. I agree with that, but it ain't.
That's been my point the whole time. Mr. 1213 says, let's see if the new administration will crack down on them. I think he's meaning the
they ain't cracking down on them
and all that. Tasmanian says the homeowners lose in the end. I'd sell my home if something like that open near me. Eric Brown says they are not out in the open, but they are not a secret, which means that someone's palms are getting greased. Dorian Denard says the city can't be hypocrites. Karen Winston said, indeed, he is back. Janet overall says she can't stop laughing. Me either. He has me coughing. Mr. 1213 says, remember Bashir with his basement sex dungeon in his home business in Grosse Pointe.
Yes, we do. We remember his behavior, and we all know how that ended up. Sadly.
How did it end up, Jeff?
He had a dead wife.
Is he dead? Is Bashir dead?
He is dead.
Yeah, he's
dead. Oh, yeah. And I remember a judge saying, "You looking good, Mr. Bashir."
Yeah, we know her. Retired judge.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you,
Excuse me.
and I tell people, I represented Teddy Bars. I got them their license back. So I'm not gonna change and
So
say,
when you represented them, please tell people under what circumstances did you represent them?
well, they was trying to close down 3 or 4 of them during we had the Super Bowl that came here with Pittsburgh. Who else? Who did they play?
They played in 2006, I think it was.
Yeah.
I remember.
And anyway,
Pittsburgh.
so they didn't want to give these clubs they topless license back, even though they didn't have a real good deal against them. And then they in the city gave Snoop Doggy Dogg and all these entertainers temporary Class D licenses for them to have topless girls at parties and all this other shit. That's how I got them their license.
Thank you, David Porter.
How can you give these people this shit, and then people that's been here, they trying to make a living and it's legal, but you don't want to give them that. Yeah, we had city council people sitting up there. And I sat in when they voted to give all these licenses to out of town people, and then they didn't want to give them to folks here. But I argued
Hey,
successfully.
Dorian, he said starving Marvin's doing the business in the city. I know there was one in Wyandotte or Southgate, a starving
Most
Marvin.
of these people, listen, well, like I told Miss Brooks the other day, that the pandemic closed down about 6 of them. They did what the city couldn't do. So you go down Michigan Avenue and you see 4 of them that's closed. And so yeah, it takes care of itself.
So Stephanie had an answer to you, Adolph, and Stephanie is always the voice of reason. The right to do it doesn't make it right to do it.
Hey, it don't matter whether it makes the right to do it, the right to do it. I know, but it is what it is. So as we come to a close, as we not talking about the titty bars, Allan, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts are the Pistons are playing tonight.
They
are 24-6. We got to go.
Oh, now, Allan, you picked up the Pistons. First it was the Lions. First it was the Tigers. They died. The Lions, they're dead. Now you got the Pistons. I feel sorry for them.
Game
are the Lions done? They're not.
The Lions done. The Lions been done. Vanessa.
For a long time.
Lions gone.
They played the worst game they've played.
Lions gone. Lions dead.
And one more game against Chicago Bears, and I think it's Sunday, and that's
you gonna watch it, right?
I don't know. I'm debating.
Hey, you watch it. You watching it. Jim, your final thought.
My final thought: if we missed you tonight and didn't get to you, I apologize for that. Adolph has come. The shy and demure Adolph has finally come out of his shell, and I think we're all surprised by that.
Vanessa,
listen, you guys know what we want you to do. We want you to like, subscribe, and share. Tell all your friends about the greatest show on these YouTube streets. We want you to join us again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We're going to have a guest tomorrow morning.
We're not.
He's not coming?
No, he's not going to be on.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't have a guest tomorrow morning. But Adolph, Allan, and Jim will be here tomorrow morning. I have to go to a funeral tomorrow. But we want you to like, subscribe, share, join us tomorrow.
Who dies?
A friend of mine's mother, actually 2 friends, lost their parents on the same day. So I went.
Why don't you tell them on we can say their name so we can.
Miss Mary Young lost her father. His viewing was today. His funeral is tomorrow morning. Mr. Young and Miss Sherry Gordon, she lost her mother. Her viewing is today, and the funeral is tomorrow morning.
Okay. Our sympathy goes with them. And I want to thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Allan. Thank you, Vanessa, Teresa, and Tracy. Thank you, Tracy.
I'll join in.
I listen, and we want other folks to come in, and I like that. I like to see who listening to us and stuff. And I think this is going to be great. And I just want to say to all the teddy bar owners, I'm with you. I'm with you, brothers. I'm with the teddy bars. Fuck everybody else. I'm with the teddy bars, and we'll see you tomorrow.